What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Quantum Gaming Podcast. We're on now episode 7. We've taken some weeks off due to finals and other issues coming up, but tonight we have a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. So, first of all, save Red Dead Online because that game needs it. But now, go right into it. We got a lot to talk about. So, first off, Modern Warfare 2 got announced. Well, the new Modern Warfare 2 got announced, and it's coming out October 28th, which is perfect. It's a great fall release, and a lot of artwork came alongside the reveal date. And all I gotta say is, I'm hyped. Great promo art so far. Ghost, probably one of my favorite characters in all of Call of Duty, and oh man, just menacing look, bro. Ghost is such a badass. But yeah, I am so hyped because this might bring back Call of Duty. I mean, honestly, ever since Modern Warfare, I believe it was 2019 or 2018, Cold War and Vanguard, have they really been that good? I mean, I enjoyed Cold War more than Vanguard. Vanguard, I didn't even bother playing the story. Zombies is practically useless. I mean, with at least Cold War zombies, it was zombies, but just easy as hell because you started off with weapons. But like in Vanguard, what the hell even is that? Can you even consider that zombies? So this is definitely gonna be kind of a beacon of hope for many COD players, and I mean, it's gonna come with a lot of changes. But the question is, will when this gets launched and obviously Warzone comes out, will they launch a brand new Warzone that's been rumored, or will they just continue uh with the current Warzone, but then just remove Modern Warfare since that'll be the oldest game of cycles, and I don't think they're gonna want to flood the menu or flood the game with 4 different games full of weapons. If anything, I would prefer them. I prefer if they just removed, you know, like a mixture, like some of the guns that literally no one ever uses, and then implement Modern Warfare 2, or just simply launch a new Warzone with just this game. Because I mean, we all like when we think of Warzone, we all kind of think of the peak era when it first came out, and it was just one gun or just one game's guns, and just straight for dance and all that, and people love that. And then slowly, I mean, honestly, I think fucking Warzone was best when uh it was just Modern Warfare and Cold War. The weapons in Cold War were amazing. Everyone loved them and mixed them with Modern Warfare. Like that was literally peak Warzone in my mind. I mean, when it first launched, it was just nostalgic at this point, but when those two games were just simply in the rotation and there's nothing else competing it with other weapons, it was great. And now we got Vanguard, which those guns are just, you know, the game's kind of broken, but at least with Warzone now, they released an update. At least I noticed tonight that on next gen consoles, they have a new HUD, which I have to upload, or I didn't upload a picture yet. But it's a new HUD in at the very top of your like kind of your team, um, kind of HUD. It shows your loadout, my experience. Because oh my gosh, because people were like, all right, we need like $200, but nope, it just tells you right there how much you have in total across your whole team and lets you know right away if you have loadout money or not. Which tonight people are like, we need like 400 left. I'm like, bro, we literally have loadout money. I didn't have my mic plugged in, and then they just kept dying and dying. And oh man, people on Warzone just they're funny sometimes. But anyways, we got of course Captain Price. And then I honestly can't remember this character, to be honest. But yeah, oh, got a little ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm definitely very hyped for Modern Warfare 2, and I'm just like, what do I want to buy it on? Do you want to get it on Xbox or PlayStation? And honestly, I think they'll probably have promo and stuff, or well, I don't know, because considering that Xbox owns Activision now, I bet I don't know. That's an interesting thing. Like, what type of benefits will you get for either console now? Considering that for the past couple of years, PlayStation's been getting everything, and now Xbox is like, nope, we'll take it right back, and we'll just buy the whole company. Which I think was pretty bad with the way they did Cold War, because PlayStation got an exclusive mode for basically the whole relevancy of Cold War. So when Vanguard finally came out, they released that exclusive mode to everyone. And it's like, well, we're gonna be playing the other game, so why the hell? But then again, we all saw Vanguard Zombies. Are like, oh no, I guess we'll try out this game mode after all. But yeah. In other news, we have a God of War show announced. Now this could either be good or very bad, but if you can get any indication from the Halo TV show, the most recent series of that, it's probably gonna be. I don't know. I definitely think Paramount is not a good spot to like kind of land all your projects at, or just simply I mean, the finale was okay. At least we finally got to see a badass Master Chief that kept his helmet on, and it kind of had a decent story and kind of is going into kind of like the greater story that is Halo. But it's just like we took all season to get to a point which we could have got way sooner, and had so much filler in it. Like they added that character Quan Ha that honestly, I'm jumping already all over the place, but just yeah, I mean, I just brought it up, so I'll knock this out of the park. Halo could have been so much better if they actually knew what they were doing and actually kind of stuck closer to the lore in the games. I know they didn't say anything that they didn't know, like take anything from the games, but like in the first episode, it was very evident that they did. But I mean, the games have a better story than this. I mean, this story was okay, but it just a lot of people felt like this wasn't Halo, just felt like this is Paramount's version of Halo and what they like half-assed. It's just like, what are you doing? And they added Quan Ha, which honestly, great acting all around. But just story wise, why the hell would you draw out a character of Quan Ha? I think at this like even in the last couple episodes, she brought no relevancy at all. She was only relevant in the first episode. Otherwise, she was just like a filler character that had no purpose. Like, what purpose did she have with McCree, Cortana, Chief, or the whole Silver team? She brought no importance at all to the story. And honestly, and even the other Spartan that was with her. I mean, that story was so pointless. I honestly skipped that whole episode. The whole episode that was a complete utter filler episode that was just revolved around Quan Ha. I didn't even watch a single second. I only watched the second that I actually saw Master Chief. I'm like, oh, maybe we're actually getting back to the story here. And you decide, like, nope, let me just drag you around here and then act like I need to take you back or need to save you all the time for no reason when you could just left her there and forgot about her like pretty much everyone else did. But it's this. But anyways, back to the God of War show. Whoever is owning, I think I read that it was Amazon that's potentially picking up the show, which is a very interesting choice considering that Amazon has the budget to handle a show such as this, but also they'll want to make sure that people actually enjoy it so they can come back and watch and they'll subscribe. Because if it's like Paramount, which they base like the whole fucking program around the show, but it's funny enough. Ever since like everyone started shitting on this show, even on the Rotten Tomatoes, they haven't added promo. I don't see trailers anymore, but when it was first coming out, I would see trailers nonstop. But ever since it, like by the third episode, I didn't see a damn thing. And they even made the Warthog every time you launched the app on like a console or a computer, the Warthog would just drift around. I'm like, bro, they really put a lot of effort into making like this show promotable, but they just forgot the key importance. You gotta actually make it feel like Halo in a Halo story. So that's kind of like my concern when I see all these games getting shows, because it's like, are they gonna do are they gonna botch it? Are they gonna take established story, established characters, and just fucking botch the hell out of them? That's something that I generally have no idea. But let me share this because this is where I saw it on, and this is where there's more shows getting announced, and they're going on all different platforms. So let me show you right here. So Sony announced Horizon series, Horizon Zero Dawn, all that for Netflix. So I'll be going on Netflix, which is that's kind of an interesting choice considering that Netflix is revamping pretty much a lot of things because they're losing subscribers. Because I mean, I would unsub too if I knowing that like every show that I potentially watch that isn't a global hit, they'll cancel after one season. I mean, a lot of them rightfully so, but some of them are just like they just cancel them. They just are cutting the cord on a lot of shit, and it just doesn't bring faith to subscribers anymore because they're so focused on making a profit that they're willing to like sacrifice. They don't care about the subscribers, and it's kind of evident because if it's true, they're releasing a $10 option that gives you like 470p. Like Jesus Christ, I can go on YouTube and get better like resolution than that for free. Like, come on, dude. Like, if Netflix is gonna go that route, they're gonna lose, and Amazon Prime Video is gonna definitely overtake them because Netflix is just looking weak because all they do is cancel shows and they're redoing everyone's plans constantly. I swear, like every couple months, they're like, all right, we're adjusting your price by like $1 or $2 so we can get more money. So it'll be like $12 and now it'll be up to like fucking 15 by the end of by the couple months later. But I don't know. Netflix just needs to get your shit together. But at least God of War is going to be going to Amazon because, I mean, every time I think of an exclusive Amazon show, I've loved them. I mean, The Boys, fantastic. Invincible, fantastic. And God of War, I mean, we have yet to see the Lord of the Rings series by Amazon. I feel like that would be a huge indicator. I feel like a lot of people forgot about that, considering that it's like they promoted it like months away. Like we still have a long time to go before it even comes out, and they like release trailers, teasers, all this shit. It's kind of like, dude, you kind of jumped the gun because now everyone's gonna forget about it. Now you're gonna have to revamp your marketing team. I mean, you should have just announced it later on, if my opinion, because now it's like, oh no. But I mean, the hype kind of died anyways. I mean, I don't think I've heard a single person talk about it since the trailer or the teaser. But I feel like that show, the Lord of the Rings show, is gonna be a huge indicator whether or not that Amazon is up to the task of taking on such a series. I mean, Lord of the Rings is way, way bigger than God of War by many, many magnitudes, not only in lore, but also in just fans and fans that are fucking, I'll be honest, Lord of the Rings fans are very picky, and if they know what they want and they know the story, and so if they fuck up something like in lore wise, they'll call them out and it'll just get fucking shitted on. That's being blunt. So, but God of War, I mean, the fan base is still there, but it just, my question is like, is Amazon willing to invest in a multitude of different things? I mean, one of the biggest things is like, who are you going to cast as Kratos, and what era of Kratos are you going to have a series about? And for me, I honestly think that they should go from the beginning. Go from the beginning and then just develop over time. But if they want to just jump the gun and go right into the kind of the current God of War franchise, which honestly I don't think they'll probably do. They'll probably do the current, God of War 2018 or 2018, and then it'll go into Ragnarok. I bet they'll do that. But I definitely think it'd be really cool if they could go back to the Greek era of God of War, because most of the games are about that. And most people have probably, I mean, a lot of people probably have played those games, but now, like, when you watch a show, I bet a lot of the context, especially Blaze of Chaos, come from that. Like, if you're trying to do a show and you want to explore God of War and make like multiple seasons, you why wouldn't you start from the beginning? I mean, but unless they want a specific actor, and it wouldn't make sense. But then again, it's like, But anyways, so Gran Torino show, I honestly, forget it. All right. And obviously they're doing another Sony project or game, what is it? Twisted Metal. Like, they have the Last of Us TV show that's airing on HBO Max with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, I believe. I don't know. And obviously we have Westworld, Mass Effect show, Fallout show, Castlevania, League of Legends Arcane series, Twisted Metals going to Peacock. So Sony's just like sending their shows and properties to anyone who'll pick them up. And, I mean, Horizon's gonna definitely not be cheap for Netflix. It reminds me of Avatar a lot, with the world and kind of like the CGI needed and special effects. So it's gonna be hit or miss. And honestly, the VFX is so slammed with projects right now. I honestly don't know how to get anything done because they're just probably so overwhelmed with so much shit that they need to get done. It's wild. But anyways, back to God of War. So, like I was just saying, like, my huge thing is, if they're gonna do God of War show, this is the most important thing that they're gonna need to do in order to make people actually want to watch it and make it somewhat of a success is figuring out who is going to play Kratos. And a lot of people are like, no. This and that. I mean, that all depends on which era you want. If you want to do Ragnarok or this current God of War, there's a lot of options you could do. You can pick a lot of various amounts. You could go Jason Momoa, Vin Diesel, guy from Parks and Recs. I mean, there's a lot of options, but young Kratos, that's gonna be another thing. And I think if they would have did a God of War show like what 10 years ago or so and just did the Greek era, Jason Momoa would have been perfect. Think of him in Conan the Barbarian and his look, and imagine that being a young Kratos. Like here, let me just skip to that slide real quick. Like I mean, who do you think could definitely rock a young Kratos? Personally, I think if I was a showrunner, I would start with the Greek era because there's so much Nordic shows out there to kind of bring back the Greek mythology and kind of go through Kratos' early years and kind of what made the character would be huge. But there's a lot there's just simply a lot. And honestly, a lot of people are saying I think it's Nick something, Nick Offerman. I don't know. I don't remember. But a lot of people are saying this guy, but I'm like, I mean, he looks. I mean, just he gives a stare and has a beard. I mean, is that it? Is that why people think? I just don't think the voice could be there. Maybe I don't know. I haven't heard his range of just pissed off tone. But I mean, Kratos is also shirtless 90% of the time. So is this guy low-key rocking a fucking 9-pack and I'm just missing something, or what's going on here? But another option is obviously Jason Momoa, which I think he could rock either Greek or current Kratos. I think it'd definitely be cool. I mean, he would definitely bring that fierceness to Kratos that makes him the character. I mean, think of him in Game of Thrones. He's like Dothraki warlord. The guy's a fucking monster in that. So I think if they're gonna go with any route for younger or older, if they want, they definitely should go with Jason Momoa. He is probably one of the better castings for this. They just pay the man what he's owed, because this character definitely would be his probably second or either number one or second character. I mean, Aquaman's cool, but like, let's be real, him playing Kratos would be even better. Another one I said is potentially Vin Diesel. And the reason why I said is because the man is still decently built. Just imagine him like kind of spending a couple more months in the gym and growing out a beard like he did. Like, think of him in Riddick. It would be solid, and he's bald as well. It's perfect. I just don't know if I could see like his facial structures. I mean, I could see it, but I'm not exactly sold. I mean, the voice, the body type, I think it could also be a good fit, because when you hear Kratos' voice in the newer ones, it's so gravelly and deep, and that's just Vin Diesel all the way. But it's just like, can Vin Diesel rock out, and can his voice hold on screaming a lot and just being loud? I mean, probably. I don't, but yeah. I mean, but like, that's the next question. What's the show gonna take place in? Are you gonna take place in the current Kratos era or in the Greek era? Just looking at each of them, you look at Kratos now, he's built as hell. He's just kind of like an older, kind of like worn out Kratos at this point. But if they did Greek, it would be pretty badass. I think it would definitely have an R rating, 100%. There's no way you could do it, because this man has so much testosterone and so much rage. I swear, I just playing through all the recent all the God of Wars currently, like, my goodness, man, Kratos is just so vengeful in the Greek era, and it's just like it's basically two different Kratoses in my mind between Nordic and Greek, because this is him currently still dealing with his decision with Ares, and then Nordic is him moving on and trying to start a new life and leave that on the past. But that past is now his reality at this point, and it's cool. And just that's my biggest question regarding that. another thing I believe, or well, here I pulled this up as well because like this is him in God of War and then God of War Ragnarok. Like obviously, it's just I think he actually looks a little bit beefier and his beard's more complete. And it just looks like they just kind of toned down the brightness on his character a little bit. But I'm definitely hyped. If I were to be honest, I 100% think they would do the more recent this God of War simply because it's more relevant. But I think it would be cool if they did kind of like the older. Because then, honestly, if I was the developers, I would want them to do Greek because it'll bring up the livelihood for those games and they can possibly remaster those games for PS4 and so people can play them, or they just, Sony can just let people have crosswords compatible or backwards compatibility to be able to play these old games. But they're probably gonna just market that. All right, so that is basically our topic for today regarding that. The last thing I have pretty much is Xbox turning down to make the Spider-Man games. Like that is such a massive L, and I honestly feel bad for Microsoft, but I also don't because knowing Microsoft, we probably wouldn't have gotten the same game. Like Sony and Insomniac did such a great job, and I mean it's an L for them because it's a huge game for PlayStation now, but I just don't think Xbox would do a better job. Like, say, look at the still that they used. Do you think Xbox could just pull off the graphics, performance, and just story like PlayStation and Insomniac have? I truly don't think that. I mean, think of all their exclusives that have come out. Like they just don't. I don't know. They just got to get together, and I think their way of being like, oh yeah, we have great exclusives is by simply buying studios and having their games that would go for everyone for their console. It'd be like, hey, we have great exclusives, but it's like, bro, the last like Halo, I mean, I mean, Infinite was cool, but I mean, a lot of people are kind of pissed off that there's still no single player co-op because like some of the key because people like to play with each other on Halo. I mean, I like playing with my friend Hans, who wasn't able to make it here tonight. But we're on Halo 2. We haven't started it. It's been a month, but we'll get to it. It's just, man, what the hell went wrong? But what the hell went right with that? But anyways, I hope you guys all had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. It might be next Friday, it might not. I have no idea. But anyways, take care and be safe.